In today's episode, I've got an update for you on Ramp Defi. This is a little darling of the channel, one we've seen mature from a micro cap to a low cap and now on its way to becoming a mid cap cryptocurrency. We've seen the developments take place in front of our eyes since investing back in November of 2020 with this one. If you want to understand more about Ramp and how you can unlock your liquidity of staked assets and essentially earn yield on top of yield, then check out some of the back catalog on my channel here. We've got plenty of videos for you. And if you enjoy the content in today's video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also check out my Patreon, link down below. Let's jump in. So the story here is that Ramp has performed exceptionally well over the last 2 months, now sitting at a price point of 38 cents and a market cap of roughly $145 million. If we just scroll down here and look at this chart here on CoinMarketCap, you can see that back here at the end of July, it had a price point of around 12 cents. We did pretty much a 4.5x here, pushing higher and higher and higher, and almost towards 55 cents, which is a hell of a run up from a small cap cryptocurrency. And during this period, the market cap actually increased from roughly $50 million all the way up here to a peak up here of nearly $200 million. So nothing short of an absolute tear of a run here from Ramp. And just check this trend line out, a straight up moon mission that we have held on to nicely. We've deviated from this, but we've tested it as support here on the 31st of August. And even with that crash just the other day, we wicked down to this line, but found support again at roughly 34 cents. So if this does hold, we are going to see a nice sharp increase in the price for Ramp over the coming months. And this is certainly one to be watching. If you're not already invested, you should have been watching my channel earlier. Make sure you subscribe because we got into this one at just 2 cents. The previous all-time high on this one is roughly $1, and I'm sure it will surpass this by some length during this crypto market cycle. So one of the main things I want to draw your attention to on this chart right here, apart from the parabolic advance that is going on before our eyes, is the volume profile. You can see back here, April and May, when we were peaking out at around $1, the volume was substantial for that time, hitting levels of nearly $100 million in daily trade over some of these days. But since we've got into this period, I would say mid-August here, a massive candle. And again, recently in September, we've really started to push towards $200 million in daily trade and even $250 million on this day right here, which is September the 3rd. So this amount of liquidity for Ramp means two things. First and foremost, it means that whales can actually get into this coin now because there is sufficient liquidity on the market. And second of all, it seems to show that maybe there is institutional buyers of this token as these levels of demand are really unprecedented. And this is what's caused a big surge in the price. You're seeing big bid on this one. So what else is causing demand for this to increase? Well, I think it's down to the fact that there is fragmented liquidity now as they are tapping into different blockchains. So it says Ramp aims to empower users with access to a global blockchain agnostic liquidity network. So blockchain agnostic means that they don't care what blockchain they're on. They're going to tap into all of them where the demand is. So what this protocol allows you to do is actually take your locked liquidity on different chains and unlock some of that collateral. So say you've got an LP position on Binance Smart Chain for a certain pair. You put that LP token into the Ramp app, and then you can still gain the APY on that, but at the same time, at a specific loan to value ratio, you can take out stable coins from that position. These stable coins come in the form of RUSD, the Ramp stable coin. And so now you are in a position where you're getting your rewards from the LP position, plus you've now got a load of stable coins on hand. You can then do whatever you want to do with those stable coins. Maybe you'll reinvest and buy more of an LP position, or maybe you'll go and put these stable coins to work in a different platform. The option really is yours. But this is just unlocking some of that stagnant liquidity. Some of those idle funds that you previously couldn't use are now accessible, and this grows the whole DeFi pie. And what they've managed to conquer here is the fact that they're getting liquidity across Binance Smart Chain and Polygon, with more integrations to come, the likes of Solana, Polkadot, and I've seen Avalanche in the recent community AMA over on Telegram being mentioned. So as they're able to fragment their liquidity, the Ramp token is on all these different blockchains, it becomes a bit more anti-fragile. It's not just a one-trick pony only on ETH where a few whales can just dump the price ad nauseum. And you're seeing these different communities and pools of users on the likes of BSC, on the likes of Polygon, using Ramp and using the Ramp Dapp. This has meant significant increases in TVL for Ramp. It's now over around $100 million. And any protocol revenues from Ramp are used to buy back and burn the Ramp token. So as TVL increases, so does the rate of buyback and burn. So this is a really cool protocol and one that I've been a long time admirer of, and one of my better investment decisions to get involved with this one. They just had a recent update. We've complained a little bit in the community about the lack of sexiness of this UI, but they've now given us a bit of a dark mode and they've saved our eyeballs a little bit here. Now from here you can see you can access this through Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and of course ETH. And this is where they started off on Ethereum, but the gas fees are so prohibitive that essentially if you've got your Ramp on ETH and you're staking it here, get yourself across to one of these other chains. And if you've got Ramp here on ETH staking, you're only getting 15%. If you move it over to Polygon, you can see that it's 39% you can get down here. And on BSC, you can get roughly 37%. So maybe you are a Uniswap user and you haven't really used the likes of QuickSwap or PancakeSwap before, you're native to ETH. Well, you can simply take your Ramp on ETH and bridge it using the bridge function here. Move it from ETH to BSC or ETH to Polygon very simply using this Dapp. So I've got my Ramp staking here on BSC, earning around 37% APY currently, which is a very nice passive earner. And what I can do with these tokens here is unlock some of the liquidity. So what you can do with this is you deposit your Ramp, you gain that APY, and then you can take your staking coins and then start to mint RUSD over here. The collateralization ratio is 140%, and the liquidation ratio is also shown for you, and it will give you a value, a price point at which you need to make sure Ramp does not go below, otherwise your position will be liquidated. So you would need to repay the loan before hitting that price. So if you do want to get involved with this, take those figures into consideration and maybe don't take out the full maximum amount of loan that you can get. Use a different collateralization ratio, one that'll give you a bit more flexibility and a bit more of a bigger buffer. Then with that RUSD that you've just unlocked, you could go ahead, maybe buy some cake, maybe buy some BNB, and then stake it in here and earn additional yield with those dollars. You weren't previously making use of those dollars. You've just made a lot of liquidity for yourself out of thin air using this protocol. So you can actually stack yield on top of yield by using this kind of method. Another favored low risk strategy for me is to actually take out the RUSD, split it into 50-50 with BUSD, and then earn 37% on those stable coins. That is a hell of a rate of return for stable assets. I know a lot of my guys on Patreon are actually utilizing this, as this is one of the best rates you'll find on the market, and I would say is rather low risk. We're also seeing some updates here on their Medium posts, more assets coming to the Dapp. So here on the Polygon network, you can now add wrapped Ethereum, earn a rate of return by popping it into the protocol and then drawing down stable coins. As a result of that, you could then leverage it and buy more wrapped Ethereum. Similarly, they've added BTCB, which is the Binance version of Bitcoin for Binance Smart Chain users. And they added a load of new markets as well. So if you've got LP tokens for any of these shown on screen, you can deposit them into Ramp and access some of that additional liquidity. So the aim of the game here is to broaden the scope of assets and user base for the Ramp Dapp. And as this grows, this means more and more users. This means more and more protocol fees and greater buyback and burns. They just announced this with Binance, a $100,000 rewards that are up for grabs in a similar way to Coinbase has their Coinbase Earn, where you have to do quizzes and understand a token a little bit more to get some of the incentives. They're doing this with Binance now. So you need to trade 40 Ramp or more and then finish the Ramp introduction article and take a quiz. So this is going to get a load of Binance users familiar with the Ramp token. So a good community engagement strategy going on there. We're also seeing some other updates, such as those double rewards. So this is an incentivized reward scheme on BSC and Polygon. That's why the rates are so high, up to around 37% currently. They recently got coverage from the Cryptos Are Us channel with George. So that is additional eyeballs on the Ramp protocol. And during the last coin burn, almost 500,000 Ramp bought back and burned. So if you follow this on Etherscan and then open up this from address here, you can see all the previous burns that have happened. So the last 5 token burns here, 518,000, 513,000, 587,000, 528, and then 482K. All of these eating into that circulating supply of the Ramp token. Those are burned and burned forever, which makes the asset more scarce and thus the remaining coins more valuable. I'm also seeing a lot of chatter about Coinbase, people saying Wen Coinbase or suggesting Coinbase is coming soon. I do not think that that is guaranteed, but they were added to Coinbase custody back in April. Even Lark Davis down here saying Coinbase custody now supporting Ramp. You know what comes next. Now, this isn't confirmed that it will happen, but typically Coinbase custody occurs for a project and then they get a listing. And I also think the fact that the liquidity on the Ramp token, which seems to be improving on a weekly basis now, with additional trading volume, will mean that Coinbase will want to get a piece of that action. At the end of the day, they want trading fees, and if Ramp are producing lots of trading fees, it will seem like a no-brainer. Then over on the social metrics, over the last weeks, social volume up over 110% and total social engagement up over 3,000%. With 166% additional social contributors. And I think during a bull market, it's very important to look at these social rankings of a cryptocurrency. If people are talking about it, lots of newbies entering the space, you can get a lot of eyeballs and thus buyers of a project. So good to see Lunar Crush data also supporting the bullish narrative for the Ramp token. So jump over to my channel, tap in Ramp, and you will see a whole plethora of videos that I've previously done on this crypto project, one of my favorites in the space. With a market cap of around $140 million, still plenty of room. I think we will see this one become a unicorn with a market cap over $1 billion. I'd also highly suggest jumping into their Telegram chat. They have a weekly AMA, and this is how you can keep your finger on the pulse and see everything that's coming up, all the various integrations that they're thinking about, and you can get your chance to have your say on where things go next with this protocol, as this will be rolling out into a full DAO over the coming months. I hope you enjoyed the content today. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.